Yeah, dude, this game, I'm super obsessed with the series because I love the lore, right? Where it starts as a simple game of like, oh, this is like Legend of Zelda's with kind of stuff. And then it involves with time travel and conspiracy, and it becomes more than just like a normal game of like a black and white game between the bad and the evil, where everything becomes really gray because you're playing a character that is not really a good character. Well, at least he's not even a hero. He doesn't care jack shit of the situation, to later becoming and having a complete 180 on his character, where between the bad and the evil. It's complicated, okay? It's complicated, Marinico. But because every single character on this game is super complex with their own like schemes and shit, right? You got Kain, who got killed. He became a vampire and he wakes up to do a revenge. And then he started to become some doing the deeds of Mortanius and Morbius without him realizing that he was also the balance pillar, right? And he kind of got tricked into doing all this stuff to get rid of the vampire race against his own will. And then he kind of hurts him because he becomes a vampire. It becomes his race. He knows how the vampire is a gift, not a curse for him. So he becomes to start to get fun of it. And if he kind of restored the balance of Nuskov, nothing really gets fixed because the people who are in control are not good people either. But then you start to realize the reason why Morbius kind of hates vampires. It was because the pillars were originally kind of made for vampires. And then eventually the vampires stopped having birth. So the humans started having birth. I think if that's what happened. And then the vampires start kidnapping all the guardians who were babies and then making them vampires. Morbius was kidnapped as a baby and grown up with vampires, but he hated the vampires for what they did. And he started hearing voices of the other god. So the vampires learned how to get because of the vampire race learned how to be immortal. But the problem of that is that they cannot die, which causes it creates a problem between life and death and the wheel of fate. The problem is that the wheel of fate is controlled by an eldritch creature called the Elder God, who instead of actually having life, have their own will, he controls that will for his own purposes. So no one really has free will, and everything is dictated by this guy and the time of will. So Kain knows something. He knows that there's something going on where he really doesn't have complete free will, but he finds a loophole in that free will and that destiny shit. And he talks about the coin who's constantly flipping. He's trying to constantly flip the coin on his favor. Because the thing is about a coin is that it's always heads or tails. You really cannot go beyond that. But statistically, there's a chance that the coin actually land on the edge. And that's the edge that he's looking for. And the edge that he's looking for is Raziel. Later on, you get to find Raziel is the only being that has complete free will. He cannot be controlled by time. Morbius can know the things that he might do, but he doesn't know every single deed of what Raziel is going to do. And that's the fear that Morbius and the Elder God eventually start to get. But that's like later on, like Soul River 2. That's like 2 games after. So it's like a really, really interesting dynamic between the free will of characters, prophecies, time travel, paradox. It's so fucking cool. And it's kind of sad when I see these games I really love these games, and low key I really want this series to have a reboot and a complete like I want more people to see this game, but it needs to be with someone that have a lot of care to it, you know. Like I cannot right now think of one developer who can handle the series very well. The only one I can think of is probably like FromSoft, right? Or Blue Point. Maybe Blue Point can take this series, because the thing about is the atmosphere of these games. I don't know anyone who can really translate this atmosphere and like gothic horror and the way that this game is with really cool, engaging gameplay. And for some reason, for me, I think this game on a if it has like Dark Souls gameplay, because it kind of already has, it would work really well. Uh, that's like dumb shit that I keep thinking about.